know, when you look in the windows of New York restaurants, they're just not as full as they used to be. And no one knows this better than Tim Zagat. He's founder of the iconic Zagat Guides to Restaurants. In fact, this is the 32nd year that Tim and his wife Nina have been releasing those maroon guides you know well about this city's restaurants. Yesterday I got a chance to sit down with Mr. Zagat, and he told me 27% of those surveyed say they're eating out less now than they were just 6 months ago. The recovery isn't a solid one for restaurants.
I thought this was going to be the turnaround year, but it hasn't been. It's been very flat since last year in the restaurant industry. Your top restaurants are going to be full, but there's no 30-day waits anymore. But overall, people are eating out less, spending less per meal, cutting back on things like alcohol and desserts. There are any number of things that have been bad for the restaurants. Now, alternatively, the restaurants have been giving 200 restaurants in there give special bargain prefix menus. 657 restaurants are serving dinner for less than $30 all in, and lunch for less than $20. And the restaurants are doing everything in their power to win customers back. And you see it in terms of the customers saying they got better hospitality now than they had in the past.
Service was the top complaint, 60%. Noise irked about 33% pre-recession, but only 23% this year. Have we gotten more tolerant?
No, it's the flip side of what I was just telling you. The fact is that restaurants were much busier, and therefore people complained about crowding. And now that they're less busy, they don't complain about noise and crowds as much.
So when it comes to surveying the businesses and the restaurants that are still out there, I mean, it's got to be incredibly difficult to stay open with all of the consumer shifts you're talking about and all the pressures there.
It's tough, and it's always been a tough industry, and it's very, very competitive. But there were 123 openings this year against 90 closings, which means that 123 restaurateurs were willing to put the skin on the table and big time betting on the future.
And looking at some of these statistics as well, consumer behavior beyond the economic pressures, you've also got these changes in consumption patterns that come with technology. And mobile users for the restaurant surveys on their computers, on their laptops, their iPhones, their iPads. And in fact, of those users, 1 out of 11 use their smartphones to photograph their meals.
Absolutely.
Why?
They like to take pictures of what they ate and then preserve the pictures so they can say, this is what my meal looked like. That's just a fact. And on the other hand, people use their cell phones and Twitter and do one thing or another at the table. And 2/3 of people don't like it when something is going, somebody's using their cell phone for that purpose.
So how has the Twitters and the Facebooks and all those Yelps sites that allow people to post their own personal reviews of restaurants, how has that affected your business?
It's competition, but we are about something quite different. We're about quality and accuracy. We prevent people from restaurants from participating in the surveys, and we're very careful about that. And we also have editors, so we curate the content. We summarize the content. I don't think I would want to read 500. We have them up on the site, but I would not want to read 500 people's reviews to decide where I'm going to go to lunch today. I want to read 3 or 4 lines, and that's what we give people. We make it easy for them to go out. And the goal is to be as reliable and trustworthy as possible. And so far, nobody said we weren't meeting that goal.
The other thing holding steady, no increase in tips. The average amount to tip, in case you're wondering, 19.1% here in Manhattan.